Oh, wow. Got a lot of comments and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
New followers.
A lot of views. Whole lot of views.
I'm going to send something to your Facebook real quick. Just ignore it, okay?
Ooh,
I'm just sending you a link to the... It's just a link to the show. Not just have to have it.
Any plans to visit the border?
I'm here in Guatemala today. At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I mean, I don't understand the point that you're.
Just quickly put a button.
Okay.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
I'm here in Guatemala today. At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I mean, I don't understand
Oh, here we go. The Sunday hangover under the tree 420. I'm Dallas, the one, joined by my trusty companion, Wesley Meat Suits. You can follow us both on Twitter. One uses it more than the other, and you can find out who. If you just follow, I'm at Dallas, the one. He's at Wesley Meat Suit. We are at Under the Tree, numbers 420.
Yeah, boy.
And here we are, man. Here we are. Man, getting it in. It's like it's going to be rough for you in the morning, just like it was rough for me yesterday morning. And like two other mornings.
But hey, we're still alive for now.
We're tough, man. Getting tougher. Getting stronger. I was going to open the show with this sound.
There it is.
This is Under the Tree 420 for the 28th fucking day of July, year of our Lord 2024. The title of this episode is, what did we call this episode? Let's see. Is Kamala Harris an agent for Satan or George Soros?
Both.
What's the difference? And this provocative. Do you want to read this? In this provocative and daring episode of Under the Tree 420, host Wesley and Dallas tackle one of the wildest conspiracy theories yet. Is Kamala Harris an agent for Satan or George Soros? Join the host as they delve into speculations and rumors surrounding Vice President Harris, exploring the claims that link her to sinister forces and powerful figures. Is she a puppet of the infamous George Soros or something even darker? With their signature blend of humor, skepticism, and fearless inquiry. I like that, fearless inquiry. I wonder who wrote this. Wesley and Dallas separate fact from fiction, examine the roots of these conspiracy theories, and discuss the broader implication. I did not proofread this. Broader implications for politics and society. Tune in for a riveting discussion and challenges the boundaries of belief and reality. And here we are to do all those things
and much more.
And much, much more. I want to just find a sounder of all of Kamala Harris's different fucking laughs and giggles.
Oof, that's terrifying.
Let's see. Kamala Harris laughing. This should be funny. Hey, so I hear some shit's going on up in Canada right now around the power plant. Is that going on up there?
It's not looking well. Apparently it's all right. Apparently we're good, but
well, I mean, that's what the news told you. What did they tell you about the
all I gotta say is I certainly hope TEPCO isn't involved in whatever this investigation is, because look at how much they lied about Fukushima. So I live relatively close. I used to before I moved to New Hampshire, relatively close to this power plant, a nuclear power plant in Pickering.
If you don't share anything, you have permission.
All right, thanks. Nuclear power plant in Pickering, and well, there's been a bubbling crude. There's some folks posting up on social media. There's a weird bubbling effect going on in Lake Ontario there. And I
found some shit like this in the rivers before, and it was startling. Just randomly in a river.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a geyser of water coming out. Well, I found an article about it here. Leak in this is at toronto.ctvnews.ca.
That sounds like a reputable source. Sorry, I'm eating.
No worries. A leak at a Pickering nuclear plant poses no threat, according to Ontario Power Generation.
Wait a minute. Did it say leak?
Sure did. Canada's nuclear regulator said on Wednesday that a demineralized water found leaking from the power plant poses no threat to human health. The Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission confirmed the leak on Wednesday, saying that it appears to have been caused by a pump seal failure, and the radiological risk to the environment and people's health is minimal.
Well, thank you for that.
There's a release of about 73,000 liters of demineralized water at the Pickering A nuclear generating station.
How many gallons is that for our American viewers?
Oh, Jesus. I can't do math. Lots. People are concerned about the nuclear power plant, but this incident is normal. No, it sure isn't normal, and everybody knows
it doesn't look normal. Do you have any pictures that you can put up?
No, I did have one. Maybe I can pull one up.
Bring it up off of the Facebook thing.
Yeah, I'm currently my Facebook account is currently disabled, but I can pull up the photo that I sent you here. Right here, let me bang it out here. I'll tell you what, man. I've been drinking the tap water from this lake all day, so I hope to God it ain't problematic.
Would you look at that?
Yeah.
Dude, that looks like a lot more than how many liters did it say?
73,000, I believe.
73,000? That's not a lot of liters to make that kind of fucking bubbling.
Well,
How long did this happen? Did it just like occur for like a
oh,
few
it's
minutes?
still going. No, it's still going, man. Oh, wait, hang on a second.
You can get the fuck out of there, man.
Wait, I apologize. This is an article from 2012. I'm way off the mark here. That's an article from 2012. My apologies.
You gotta look at some local articles.
I've been looking. Okay, I looked everywhere for any news article, and that was
Read
the
that
only
because
one.
people aren't going to be able to see
Right.
it. Read it all.
So yeah, so this is the only thing I found aside from that. My apologies. That I should have checked the fucking date. It was right first thing.
Admonished.
Yeah, the bubbling observed south of the Pickering nuclear plant has been reported by several news outlets, but I can't find any articles. This phenomenon has raised concerns among residents and officials alike. But according to experts, the bubbling is believed to be related to an underwater geological activity or potentially a natural gas pockets in the lake bed. Authorities, including the OPG, Ontario Power Generation,
They also speculate that it could be some kind of underwater mermaid blowing fart bubbles out of her vagina.
yeah, why not? Environmental agencies are investigating the situation to ensure that there are no risks to the public health.
No
or
risk.
the
It's totally natural. It's totally natural.
As of now, there is no indication that the bubbling is connected to any operational issues at the Pickering nuclear plant, which continues to function under regulations and oversight of the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission. The CNSC and other regulatory bodies are closely monitoring the situation to determine the exact potential implications. So I don't know, but I guess I'll find out if my thyroid starts to.
Yeah, I mean, how will you know?
They won't. So here's the deal: there has been a handful of potentially catastrophic events that have occurred in these nuclear power plants in Lake Ontario that I have stumbled upon over the course of my life through inside sources from friends whose parents work there. There's been some potentially catastrophic events that have narrowly been avoided. But they never have told. They don't tell the public when this happens.
Why would they do such a thing?
No,
Who
they
cares
never
what
tell
the public knows or
Well,
thinks?
it might be important for us since we're drinking the water, right? You think that
You're bathing in it too, yeah.
Yeah.
No, wait, you don't shower. What am I talking about?
I wouldn't even be drinking the water if I was still an alcoholic. Like I remember like not long ago, anytime someone caught me with a bottle of water, they'd be like, "Are you okay?" Your liver's not going to know what to do with that.
It's gonna get washed out, maybe.
So
So it sounds like you got everything under control up there with the power plant.
Well, everything is under strict control, and there's no doubt about that, man.
Yeah, man, I got to keep this on presentation right here. Yeah, I just wanted to give my.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? Hello.
I want to talk to you.
Wow.
I come first.
Wait,
Drunk?
no.
You said we're there after 2.
Oh, it gives me chills, buddy. Holy fuck. Ah.
Wow, brush. I mean,
Look at that. Look at her.
Love good.
we're like, how
Does she
We're in a
think it's
lot of
cute?
trouble, buddy. We're in a lot of trouble.
You may clap.
You may clap.
and your answer is part of the job.
She looks black. Look at that hair.
So
Jesus,
She colors her hair. that
She fits
color.
all the
Instead of
DEI
black.
requirements.
you're welcome.
Pull out a Venn diagram.
Dude, do you love Venn diagrams as much as Kamala? Or we probably just got banned on YouTube for that.
Yikes.
Oh, hello to the one person watching on YouTube.
Oh, wow. I thought.
Hey, come on over to Rumble and watch us there. How about that, man? Rumble's a much better place for people like you.
Yeah, I don't know if you
You
know
don't
this,
have to
but
fall into this gap where you're just like stuck in the
YouTube is a CIA shill organization that's operated by the Alphabet company, and you need to get the hell away from that. Quit supporting them. been a proven fact that that there's a dragnet going on YouTube where videos are being collected and people are being categorized in the NSA.
And they're fucking getting put on list.
Much like yourself there, Mr. YouTube, whoever.
Yeah, you're on a list right now. Look, just because you're watching, and the dude watching it's like, what are you talking about? I'm making the list.
Yeah. Oh, that's the intern. That's the intern at this
That's the
over
intern
there
from Langley. Hey, we appreciate you watching too. All the letter organizations,
the alphabet networks.
This probably isn't your style of work. But let me tell you, it's easier than loading and unloading fucking stupid canoes and kayaks all day.
Oh, God, or shoveling steel dust and grease.
Yeah, right.
Hey, I'll tell you what, to the intern that's working for the CIA or the NSA, whoever it is, if you're
FBI,
once we've won you over with our charm, we are looking for an intern.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Hey, listen, that'd be great to get a shield to be our intern.
100%. Then we flip.
We'll just shill on this motherfucker. Well, I guess we shouldn't say that.
As soon as we get an intern, we're gonna be fucking we're gonna be on him all day about being a shill.
Yeah, it's like, well, the last intern we had, Wes. This is a little before your time. Yeah. The last intern, I named the show "Fire the Fucking Intern."
Oh yeah, we're not going to be treating him any good by any stretch of the imagination.
I mean, it's going to be a remote job. Essentially, hopefully, we don't want to see you.
I'm going to send him.
You don't have to make the drive from Langley. I mean, that would be ridiculous.
I'll send him. Like I said, I was watching this 12-hour White House committee hearing, and we need an intern that can sit there and watch that whole fucking thing and just pull out clips, because it's been. I mean, with the way shit's going here, man. This is our whole life is this podcast. Every waking minute, every free moment I have when I'm taking a shit on the work clock. It's all just.
Oh, you get to shit on the work clock, man.
It's all R&D.
We have Porta John, so it's like I'm not trying to go in there and shit.
Oh no, forget that, man.
I do hang out in there and smoke cigarettes, though. You probably see the cigarettes floating out the little vents at the top.
People probably think the thing's on fire.
Oh my god, I get hosed down because I'm smoking in the fucking shitter, the Porta shitter.
So I didn't find a whole hell of a lot going on today that's too interesting.
Yeah, I was just thinking the Hangover show hits a little different when you're not hungover.
Oh yeah, it does. Sure, we might as well call it maybe the.
Well, I did call it. This is 2 weeks in a row. I've not called it the Hangover show.
Right.
I haven't called it the Hangover since the last time I was actually hungover.
Yeah, we got to come up with it. It's going to be a church show instead.
Well, it's like, Joey Diaz isn't using the church of what's happening now.
Stop. We got a Timothy Taylor chiming in from YouTube.
The church of what happened this week.
Hey, Timothy Taylor chiming in from YouTube. Stop the black jokes and Trump will easily win. Trump has 20 to 30% of the black male votes, but if y'all keep screaming DEI, then Trump will lose.
Wait, who said anything about DEI? We were making fun of how the bitch laughs.
Yeah.
Look, she's not even black. She is a DEI hire. They fucking said that he's going to choose a fucking woman before he ever picked his Biden, former Vice President Biden picked his VP pick. She's absolutely a DEI hire. In 2016, look, I've got this right here.
By the way, we appreciate you chiming in.
We do appreciate you listening and chiming in.
He's not
Tim
wrong,
the Tool Man Taylor?
Wrong.
Do you know that guy?
But you know what? We are getting more and more, trying to be a little bit more professional, a little bit less.
Well, yeah, you're not going to stop ever telling the fucking truth. That's the one thing for sure, man. So
amen to that.
It is what it is. And it's like, look, we're not swaying any fucking swing votes or swing states here, buddy. It's, and you know what, Wesley, I still haven't endorsed a candidate for president.
No, not really.
In 2016, I think I finally endorsed Trump.
I didn't have a leg up on the scenario either way, man. It was just you know, I'm not into, I was never even really into politics. I'm a philosopher, and I study human consciousness, psychedelics, right? Stuff like that. And but I'm also massive conspiracy theorist. But
and I'm not only am I a conspiracy theorist, but more than that, I'm a contrarian.
right. Yeah. I thought
Hey, speaking of,
go ahead.
all right, I want to show Timothy Taylor something here. Was something I saw. Well, something I saw the week or earlier this week. But of course, the internet gods have provided a meme to briefly display what I saw, and here it is. Okay, California's Kamala Harris becomes first Indian American U.S. Senator. 2016. That's the Associated Press. That's back when they took the time to spell it out. Biden picks Kamala Harris as running mate, first black woman. That's in 2020.
Right. So which is it? I don't even know her nationality.
Hey, hang on. What does it say there? And this might be racist. Whoosh, you're black. The only thing that's racist is people who are talking about racism.
Right. I mean, ironically, well, I mean,
like people who are fucking like who are offended for black people. If you tell
they're not usually black.
Dude, I guarantee you, if they're hanging out with a crew of black people and somebody tells a white joke, that cracker is not saying shit. The key to defeat Kamala is for Trump to expose Kamala Harris as the same religion as her mother.
Amen to that, man.
Most Christians will never vote for a Hindu.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Trump's going to get the Christian vote.
Well, listen, on Facebook today, let me tell you this. On Facebook today, I've been on an unfriending spree, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, but I try to engage these people first with conversation, ask them why they're posting what they're posting. Is this their true thoughts, etc., things like that. And, why are you voting for this person? What are her qualifications, etc.? And I saw someone post, I was just scrolling on the Facebook earlier, and someone posted, in fact, I should really look at this. Someone posted, vote like your daughter's rights and your granddaughter's rights depend on it. And it's got this logo with like a uterus and everything, like the female reproductive organs. Female. Not necessarily a woman, but a female's reproductive. Yeah, we could get Tim Taylor, if you would like to call in and give us a chat, man. Here's how we're going to do it. You can text the show and we can call you back.
Been a while since we had a caller.
Yeah, the number is 502-2868-420.
We should start putting this in.
And I'll just Bluetooth it in if he wants. Yeah. Just send a text, man, and tell us who you are, and I'll give you a call back. I want to see if I can find this. And look, no one's commented on it. Wow, that was fast.
Wow.
I don't think it was him. No, it was you fucking asshole. Let me see. I don't think I unfriended this bitch yet because I wanted to see. Let's see. I think it's Stephanie. Here she is. I don't know if I know this girl. She was kind of cute. Let me see. I bet she bangs black dudes.
Oh, there he goes. Oh, he doesn't want the government stalking him, he said.
They're already stalking you, as we mentioned before. Just for you watching this show, you've been in enough, man. You're on the list, bro. Sorry.
Listen, I'm sorry. I got to take a second here. I got something I have to address.
Hang on. I want you to hear this.
Okay, go ahead.
How long is it going to take?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna share it. I want to share this bitch's page. And guess what? There's a black. Hang on, let me look at this picture. Is that Big Vito? No, that ain't Vito. All right, I'm gonna show this picture. Okay. This is the person in question. Wow, she's super hot. You don't ever find somebody that's a Trump supporter that looks like this. All right, so here it is. Can you look? Can you look for a second?
Yeah, sorry.
What do the books say? I can't see what it says on the spine of that book. Can you see it?
I'm not sure.
Here, let me. The bluest eye. I can't really see. And then you got the butt pirate flag on the right. The most relevant. We want to see all the comments. Oh, look, someone removed my comments.
Oh no.
I bet you I know why. I unfriended the person who was talking a shit to me. She said hallelujah was her comment on this. Hallelujah.
Unreal. Okay.
And I said, this is a woman I know, and I said, do you really want to kill the baby? And she said, bless your heart. Now in Kentucky, that is not anything less. She didn't block me, but somebody took down. Here's what this person looks like. Can you imagine her voting for Trump?
Probably not.
No, that's her retarded granddaughter, step granddaughter. I'm sorry, that's not her. She is a sweet child. All right, so she didn't block me, but somebody took all those comments down. Because after that, I fucking said, I don't know what kind of cult you're in that wants to kill the baby, but Jesus loves all the little children. I said, I thought Jesus loves all the little children.
And that got removed?
Jesus doesn't want you to kill the baby. Nobody will engage in a fucking conversation, bro. Nobody can fucking tell me the reason why they think fucking killing the baby is a good idea.
Especially, anybody who's on the left, they don't ever have anything worth that they will,
because
contribute.
They're just fucking parroting whatever the fucking media tells them. And 100%. That's how you can tell if you're dealing with someone who has a brain or is just fucking someone who is fallen victim to propaganda.
Hang on a second.
So please give me a call back 905-243-5183.
What is that?
I thought that I thought I had a very pressing issue to deal with, but I don't think I do. I think we're okay.
It ain't the fucking co-ops.
Oh, well. This is a true insurrection. This is literally treason. Kamala Harris did not earn a single vote. She was not on the top of the ticket. Joe Biden was. Breaking by Leading Report at Leading Report on X. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Hakeem Jeffries gave the okay to Obama, who then called Biden, informing him that they had VIP Harris's approval to invoke the 25th Amendment against him if he did not withdraw from the presidential race, according to sources.
They gave that son bitch an offer he couldn't refuse.
Elon says he believes that Biden was bullied out, and probably pretty much like he.
Well, they were saying that he had a bruise
at
on
gunpoint.
I'll say, go ahead and read whatever. Tim Taylor, thanks for chiming in, buddy. Read that.
MSNBC and CNN are making up poll numbers. The majority of YouTube channels, regardless of race, days, they're not voting for Harris. Says they're not voting for Harris. That yes, I've clearly I can see this, and thanks again, Timothy. Clearly, I can see this. There is a false narrative where I'm hearing that Harris is gaining traction, but it's absolutely not true. There's
fake.
no evidence. Yeah, it's entirely fake.
No, everybody is like, she's the worst fucking thing ever. And then all of a sudden, after everyone who's registered Democrat that voted in the primary after all their votes were subverted, after they voted for Biden for whatever fucking reason, I guess. Here's the deal: if you'll vote for Biden, you'll vote for any fucking retard they parade out there.
Well, and
especially if it's a woman who is trying to be perceived as black.
So one of the things,
fucking, the dean of admissions at MIT, I can't remember her name. She is a white woman posing as a black woman.
Unbelievable, man. Well, I seen this a funny, like a pretty poignant comment on X, which said, ironically, the same people who are voting for Harris for being a woman don't even say that, they don't even know what a woman
is. A woman is the useless vagina that's the useless flesh that surrounds the vagina.
If well, and now we at least know.
You caught me with a mouthful. A vagina, actually. This is the best vagina I've eaten in a long time. Hey, look, I just saw a pretty cool meme. It says normalize saying this instead of responding with living the dream. Like someone says, how you doing? Oh, living the dream. This says the horrors persist, but so do I. That's pretty good.
I have a couple of things about Kamala Harris and pertaining to her satanic ties here. This one here was from March 31st from Gateway Pundit, the gatewaypundit.com. Satanic cult. Kamala Harris posts a message for Transgender Day of Visibility that is longer than the one for Easter and does not mention Christians or Jesus Christ.
Man, I interrupt you. Hang on. I interrupt you for 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I fucked up and had Facebook open to fucking kind of drag that shit out. The vote like your daughters. I want to go back to that too to see what the other people commented. But a friend of the show, I saw he had a post come up. Lebo, what's his name? KY Lebo. No, it's Lee Thompson 75 at Twitter, or it used to be Lebo KY Lebo 75 at Twitter is friend of the show, and he posted this picture of a book. It says, "I am fully submerged in water," and everyone keeps asking if I need help. Can't they see? I can't speak underwater. I can't even breathe. Okay, he posted this about an hour ago. Me being a dear friend that I am. But let's see. Most relevant, oldest. It won't let me show. I can't see all the comments. What's up with this? I just made a comment. My comment said, stand up. He's paralyzed.
Oh my God. Beautiful.
Lee, if you're watching, call me right now, man. I'll put you on the air so you can talk shit. Yeah, but for real, I've told the story on the show before. I was pushing him in a wheelchair in Las Vegas, and we were going to cross the street from the hotel. Cross the street on Vegas Boulevard. We're on the strip, and we're going into a liquor store, and we're letting some people, a friend of mine's holding the door for Lee, but some people are coming out, so we're holding the door for the people coming out. And this drunk woman comes out and says, get up and walk. And if it was a dude that said it, I wouldn't have said a word. I would just fucking lights out.
Right.
Just one of these would have came right across the side of their lights out. Bye-bye. But as a woman, so I was just like, are you fucking serious right now? It's like my joke when I'm smoking cigarettes. Someone comes up and says, that cigarette is bothering me.
Right.
I always say, what the fuck? Do you come up in front of people in wheelchairs and dance and be like, oh, look what I can do. Look what I can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking asshole. I think I'm smoking because I think it's good for me. I'm smoking to deal with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna light another one just because you pissed me off.
I'm done with this conversation. Peace. So anyway, I sent Tammy Brown a message and asked her, "Do you really want to kill the babies?" We'll see if we get a reply before the end of the show.
Well, it'll probably be removed.
So anyway, I'm going to see. All right, vote like your daughters and granddaughters depend on it. All right. Let me see all right, 8 comments. Oh, look, they're showing up now. Okay, the most relevant. I want to see all comments. Now it's popping up. Here we go. Here, let me share this. And you can have the names. Kamala wins North Korea, Russia, Israel. Russia, I doubt it, bro. Russia is our only friend as American citizens out there on the global scene. They're the only ones who truly care if we live or die.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Russian heart. Fuck with me. All right, so here we go. Here's this thing. This is all comments. Because they do.
Okay.
Their rights depend on it. Sheena, let's see if she's a friend. Nope. Hallelujah, yes. Hashtag vote blue. Tammy Brown, do you want to kill the baby? Dallas, bless your heart. Tammy Brown, I thought Jesus loved the little children. I guess murder is okay in whatever cult you're in. So bless your heart. You may call it a right, but scriptures, this is Ryan Brower's base, dude. He says, is that popping up? Good. You may call it a right, but scriptures call it murder. When a person ends a baby's life, Christians need to vote biblical, or we will have a government that is anti-Christian. I like that. Somebody else did. Pretty sure murder is one of the 10 commandments. Maybe you can get to heaven with the 90%.
Oh, fuck.
I said, by the way, the states make laws on reproduction, not the president. Who's running for the state house? Nobody fucking. Do you know why there's no answers? Because they don't fucking know. Do you know why they don't fucking know? Because they are fucking stupid.
Because they aren't actually paying any attention to what their vote.
They don't understand. They are willfully fucking ignorant, bro. They are willfully ignorant. In the age of information, ignorance is a choice, bro. It's not something that you have to be. Hell, if you're on welfare and food stamps, you get a free fucking phone with data.
Right.
But do you know what you're doing? You're posting fucking TikTok videos and watching TikTok. You're not fucking using that data to fucking expand your mind or fucking progress you in society. You know why? Because you're going to vote blue because they pay you to do so.
Well, they're brainwashing you to do so through TikTok.
All these people are a victim of a fucking sophisticated 5th generation warfare that includes, but is not limited to, fucking propaganda warfare.
Yeah.
It's to the point where you don't even know who the fuck you're fighting. You end up fighting your neighbors and people that love you because you have bought the lie.
100%, man. I don't know if you heard about this, but DuckDuckGo is trending and also Google. And the reason why is, well, I'll show you. Hang on. If you type in here, I'll share the screen and we can get into it. If you type in assassination attempt on here, there's nothing regarding Donald Trump in the auto population. So no auto prompts for assassination attempt on Trump. If you start typing in Trump, Tucker Carlson shows up. But yeah, there's nothing. There's no way to fuck that. So yeah, they're controlling the narrative using even the search engines. Luckily, Brave here has used this as an opportunity to. Brave's a company that makes a web browser and also search engine. Braves use this to their advantage for some free publicity, saying, unlike other alternatives, in quotation, search engines like DuckDuckGo, Brave search uses its own independent index, so you won't get the same results you get anywhere else.
We need to follow Brave.
Yeah, I 100% will. Brave is now my new search engine. I'm never using Google or DuckDuckGo
Yeah, I've
again.
heard about that before, actually.
I've been
And
using. I
I don't
use
think
their.
they sell any of your data or anything
Nope.
like that.
And the other good thing about Brave, shout out to Brave, is that they have the best ad blocker going, man. Like even on mobile, if you're using YouTube and you don't want to have it pay for a YouTube subscription, first of
Listen
all,
up, Timothy Taylor.
yeah, stop using YouTube. And he's off YouTube now. So, but what you do is you just get Brave and use it as your YouTube app, because you can play videos, without ads. You can have the audio in the background playing while your phone screen is off. It's just you can watch porn. You don't have to worry about bullshit when you're watching, your midget.
What's the bullshit that
porn.
happens when you watch porn?
Oh,
I'm asking for a friend.
hey man, I don't know, man. I've turned to God, so I wouldn't know anymore. You get pop-ups of fucking trannies and shit.
So you be searching for trannies?
Well, you gotta keep your enemies close, right? What's trending what's happening and trending right now on my X page is Jesus, satanic. Yeah, is Kamala satanic? It's all like this is the end of times, and I'm looking at it right on my X fucking home feed, man.
Oh, look, this is perfect. Perfect. I want to share this meme. I just went to home on Twitter and this pops up from Elon Musk. Men can't talk about abortion. Last week, you said men can get pregnant.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see what's trending here. Venezuela. Chelsea Handler. Hell no. That was pretty big. Hell no. Oh shit, hang on. We gotta see this. What the fuck is this shit? Ready?
Yeah.
Gen Z is gonna save this election.
41 million Gen Z
She sounds
people
drunk.
have turned 18, which means they are now eligible to vote. Compared to 2016, when the election did not go the way we wanted it to. Gen Z is here now, and only 17% of them are Republican. 52% are
retarded.
Democrats, and 31% are independents. But the independents are likely to vote for Harris, so they're gonna fucking save this election. 41 million Gen Z.
Wow, look at that. Wow. That's scary looking, man.
Oh my god!
Oh my god. I got some follow-up stuff once you're done. Wow. That's what they call true beauty. So I don't know if you caught any of this stuff here, but there's some interesting stuff going on in Paris right now. Christians in Paris take to the streets to protest the Paris Olympics openly satanic opening ceremony. All of Paris, man. There's every Christian in Paris.
Wow.
It's
Blow that up.
backfired.
Make it full screen. Yeah, show another.
And then you can hear them. Fucking beautiful. Down here I have, look at I feel heartbroken for the Olympic athletes, many of which are my friends who trained their entire life to compete on the stage, but now have significantly fewer eyes watching and admiring because of the satanic blasphemous display put on by the Olympic organizers. What do we have here?
Mothers and families. Under my leadership, the Republican Party will always support the creation of strong, thriving, and healthy American families. We want to make it easier for mothers and families to have babies, not harder. That includes supporting the availability of fertility treatments like IVF in every state in America. Like the overwhelming majority of Americans, including the vast majority of Republicans, conservatives, Christians, and pro-life Americans, I strongly support the availability of IVF for couples who are trying to have a precious baby. What could be more beautiful or better than that?
There's everywhere you look, fellow Christians, can you please join me in a complete and total boycott of the blasphemous, sickening,
I will not watch it.
Ritual formerly known as the Olympics. Jesus Christ will not be mocked. The Olympics deleted all the footage pertaining to the ceremony because they don't want you to see their sick, satanic, degenerate opening ceremony. X, you know what to do. One day after displaying some of the most satanic rituals and symbolism, Paris has now experienced a blackout. God wins. And there was a church that managed to stay open. It managed to have the light still on it. And that's pretty cool, right? The entire area was completely fucking,
yeah, except for that church, it was all lit.
Except for that one church, which, by the way, they changed the logo. They changed the what do you call it? They changed the image of it for the ceremony. I have a photo of what they changed it to. Look at this. The church. Here we go. Here. The athletes were told not to promote or mention Jesus or any Christian religion. They replaced the cross on Les Invalides or whatever in Paris with a different design for the official poster of the 2024 Olympic Games. They got rid of the cross, and now they're mocking Jesus at the Last Supper opening ceremony. This is working. This is awesome, man. This is perfect. So I guess Trump's about to get all the Christian votes as well as all the black votes.
Here you go. Look at here's what happens when a TikToker. I was in this restaurant minding my business.
What happened?
Like a black guy in front of her table's doing it.
I can't see nothing. You got something going on there?
She's holding her nose. Takes big fingers to hold that big old nose.
Breaks news.
You take your fucking bitch ass out. Fucking go somewhere else. You can vote with your dollars. You don't have to be a fucking cunt.
So
I said that on the show. You didn't have to be a black cunt.
What's going on here?
You could be anything you wanted in life, but instead you chose to be a cunt. Fucking worthless.
What am I missing here, man? Seems like you're having a one-way conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, Rayasa Leo is a Catholic skater who won bronze medal at the Paris World Olympics, said that allegedly she was told she wasn't allowed to praise Jesus Christ. She responded by saying, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, in sign language to protest.
Here we go, man. You ready to watch the Olympics?
Yeah.
I got broads in Atlanta. Just to the lean. Credit cards in the scammers. Hitting the licks in the van. Legacies. Family, wait and see, they like a
Oh, he's
family.
got it.
Going like I'm a time.
That's it.
Honey killers on the helmets. Legacies, family, wait and see. Family, I just walk down, selling ball.
Hilarious shit, man. Hey, did you hear that there's been a mass shooting in New York?
Oh, the Donald Trump they don't want you to see. Hang on. This is like a retard or something.
What a God's children, buddy.
How to save a life? Where did I go wrong?
Copyright infringement required.
Look at him. Look at that. Look at that. There's a blonde woman.
I never seen that on the news.
Look at this. Look at this. Wow. I don't want you to see this guy. Look at that. Look, what a guy, dude. He probably in private is like, get these retarded germs off me. I don't know if you can you contract being a retard? I don't know.
Oh God. Yeah, man. Apparently there was a mass shooting in
A
New
mass
York.
shooting?
In New York, yeah.
Did everyone die?
No, but there's a lot of
Dude,
people.
a mass shooting doesn't mean shit anymore. It's like 2 or more people.
Yeah.
Tell me it was more. Come on.
This just in.
An AR style rifle.
Come on. Well, you know what, man? I was watching those hearings, and they keep in them it keeps being talk about banning guns because of the fact that Trump was shot, right?
Guns should be banned. Democrats should not carry guns.
Yeah, how about that, man?
Look at all these people.
Oh, is that Harris?
All these white people with nothing to do. You know why? Because they don't have fucking jobs. Did I say that out loud?
Trish and Tate has an open offer, $5,000 cash, no questions asked, to any Olympic athlete who holds up a Jesus Christ is King sign during or after the event.
How much?
$5,000. Here, I got a comparative essay here.
Hang on, I'm looking for a pen.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to be an athlete.
Yeah. The difference between Trump's. Okay, yeah. Here's a perfect example of what Timothy was talking about. If you look at the Harris rally in Philly here, there's about 68 people there.
If that. How many you think are at that Trump rally?
Oh, tons. This just
Oh, that's just because there's a bunch of white people in St. Cloud.
Paris Olympics organizers issue an apology after they mocked Christianity during the opening ceremony. Organizers say they were really sorry if they offended anyone, saying, we're sorry. There was never an intention of offending Christians. Unreal. Clearly, there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group. The ceremony tried to celebrate community tolerance. We believe this ambition was
Clearly,
achieved.
some people did not see it that way.
Right. It was a satanic ritual. If people have taken any offense, we're really sorry. There was a picture floating around of Snoop Dogg. He was holding the torch, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you see. Have you noticed what was around his neck?
What?
But he had a. Well, here I'll show you right here. I got it. Man, I'm on the
Upside down
ball.
cross.
I'm on the ball. Even worse. I'm on the ball with the tabs today. Look at this. Remember all those concerts that were getting called rituals, all the demonic symbols, the ones where people passed away in the crowd? I don't know anything about this, but he's wearing satanic. He's basically wearing a Baphomet while he was holding up the. This is fucking scary. Also, he's got a lazy eye in the picture because he's a reptilian.
That's what happens. You lose an eye.
Yeah, I think that seems to be a prerequisite to be part of the club.
Well, you'll see them whenever they have whatever procedure it is. is fucking. They get a bloody eye or a black eye.
Right. Yeah, we've seen it. I've seen a ton of it. And it's always
Ton
the
of
same.
times.
It always seems to be their right eye. Every single one of them. The left eye seems to be good, and the right. Iran says France should be ashamed of itself for the opening ceremony at the Olympics. The insulting representation of Jesus Christ in Paris yesterday was completely offensive and crossed all red lines. France, a country with a major history of Christianity, must be ashamed of itself, and I implore our Christian people over the world to speak out against this act. We resolutely condemn this.
We are deeply sorry.
There it is.
We're sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. Sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. Sorry. We're sorry. I'm deeply sorry. Sorry. We're sorry.
Hey, so I just found this too. What is this on Bookmark Sex? Here we go. Who had BlackRock CEO Larry Fink and the shooter with a rifle on their bingo card? What are those two guys doing? Hey,
Send that to me right now.
all right.
And save a copy of it.
Yeah, well, it's still available.
Yeah.
All right. Also, here, take a look at this. LeBron James with his reptilian eyes. Hang on. Boom. That's not good.
No.
No, it ain't.
Sorry.
Thousands of Christians in France. This is gathered. Oh, we already did this one. Here's Andrew Tate. Hang on, let me get back here. Here's Andrew Tate. I am protesting outside of the French embassy for mocking Jesus during the Olympic ceremony. The police are threatening to arrest me for an unlawful assembly. I'm currently on bail and will face a minimum 3 months in prison. And I do this as a Muslim. Man, even the Muslims are this is fucking crazy.
Hey, this is pretty good, dude. This is a good meme. JD Vance is weird.
Right, yeah. I have since we're on the Kamala Harris and the Satanism thing, you might be interested in this. The rise of Kamala Harris is literally biblical prophecy. Kamala is a Hindu goddess of devil in Mesopotamia. I said that right. That is referred to in the book of Revelation 17:4, otherwise known as the laughing goddess and the harlot of Babylon. Her full name is Kamala Devi Harris, born in 1964, the year of the dragon, which is also 2024. The woman was arrayed in a purple and scarlet and adorned with gold and jewels and pearls, holding her hand a golden cup full of abominations and the impurities of her sexual immorality. Here's a video.
From Mesopotamia. Kamala is one of the female offsprings of this devil right here. And he is one of the three primary forms of Devi. Kamala of Devi, the laughing goddess. And that's next on the trumpet. She was born in 1964. And this is what year it is now. The year of the dragon. The harlot of Babylon is here. The laughing goddess. Revelation chapter 17. The woman was dressed in purple and scarlet and was glittered with gold, precious stones and pearls. She held a golden cup in her hand, filled with abominable things and the filth of her adulteries. So this has been in the works for quite some time. Purple, gold, pearls, 6 buttons on each sleeve, laughing with a golden cup in her hand, the word of God. That one. You can read all about the beast that put her into power after he served for exactly 42 months. And that matches the book of Revelation perfectly. Daniel chapter 12. The man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, lifted his right hand and his left hand toward.
Wild, eh? That's where the video ends, but that's pretty scary shit, man. That's absolutely terrifying. Wow. I got a picture of her of her and Epstein. I don't know, it's probably fake. Yeah. Straight up, man. I can't hear you, buddy.
JD Vance is so weird.
Yeah, tell me, what the fuck is this shit?
If we white people are so awful, why do they keep moving to our neighborhoods?
Bill Cooper said that you're using the book of Revelations as a playbook to con those Christians that fall for false eschatological narratives, i.e. the rapture, that they will remain passive and thereby futile during the process of elimination.
Yeah, because you're going to think that Jesus is going to come back.
She's the harlot of Revelation 17, man. Listen to this quote from Revelations. Will be astonished when they see the beast, because it once was, now is not, and yet will come. Sound familiar?
Yeah, pretty much.
That comes right out of her mouth, man.
Oh, wow. Wow. Kamala's motorcade is a bunch of Oscar Mayer Wiener mobiles. Extinction level event.
What's that, Kamala? There was a.
I think this has something to do with the. This is like zero ages. This is from Ethical Skeptic on X. Ages 0 to 24. Here, I'll go ahead and share it. I'm trying to. Okay, so this says 0 to 24 natural causes of death includes COVID. Excess equals 26.4%. Excludes suicide, overdose, accidents, behavioral, and 999 deaths held for disposition may be added to this tally in the future. The cognitive dissonance is off the charts as well. Look, this is the death rate, bro.
Wild, man.
For the ages of 0 to 24. Look, bro.
Oh, yeah, man.
Look what's going on. Here's 0, where the mouse is. 0. Trucking on. Hey, man, it's a shit show, and we're just spectators.
Meta AI was asked, tell me about the assassination. Here, I'll show it to you here. Meta AI was asked, tell me about the assassination on Trump. Meta AI said, I cannot assist.
It should have said an assassin. Oh, it did say assassination attempt. You just queued that out.
Sorry, I cannot assist in that. I don't always have access to the most up-to-date information. Can you help with anything else? Tell me about Kamala Harris's campaign for president 2024. Announcing Kamala Harris announced her 2024 presidential campaign on July 21st after President Joe Biden withdrew. So apparently Meta's AI doesn't have any information about an assassination on Trump, attempt on Trump, but somehow it has information pertaining to the presidential campaign involving her.
Yeah, man. What a time to be alive. So brave.
I don't know, man.
CIA denies theory that it used MK Ultra on Trump's shooter.
Yeah, that, and if you look that up, if you Google that, that's Operation Mockingbird for today. There's everybody, like every news article I see is trying to fact check that, saying that no, they did not use MK Ultra on the guy. And I noticed that every time we look up anything now, there's an infinite amount of fact checks on all the mainstream media pertaining to that exact same story.
Did you know that Kamala Harris and Ronald McDonald have won the same amount of Democratic primaries? I might want to save this image. Hey, man, I'm thinking about cutting it short tonight. I know you got to get up.
We got shit to do. I got shit to do tomorrow.
Yeah, we can dip into an early show tomorrow if something happens, and I'm sure it will. I'm sure as shit it will. I'm looking up. I guess I'll grab. And we'll just, I don't know, maybe we'll play some, what do you think, InfoWars?
Yeah, I'm always down for that, man. Give me something to fall asleep to here.
All right, I think we'll do it. Let me go ahead and share it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks for all the comments and everything. Thanks for the new followers. Most time we have more for you on Sunday, but Wesley's punk ass has to wake up early in the morning. Bless his heart.
Gotta go shovel.
Thoughts and prayers for Wesley. Thoughts and prayers for all the fucking dumbass Democrats. Let's hope they wake up before we have to kill them.
To be able to carry out.
Yeah.
And this is InfoWars, the Alex Jones Show. Enjoy.
How are we living through something
I'll hit you up on the other side.
mind-blowingly stupid? Later. This is basically a confession that everybody who was told that you're crazy, you're a Trumper, you don't understand reality, the president is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
All of us who've been told we were nuts have suddenly been told you're not nuts.
Yeah.
But the machine is going to continue to go on and lie to us. And furthermore, there was no primary.
The majority of Americans see it. They feel it. And when I say the majority, I think it's 70%. Very, very clearly see this and feel it, and they're not okay with it. And then you have 20% that will vote blue no matter who, because they are so deeply programmed to. And we don't have to get into the power of modern day programming and mind control, but that exists.
But it exists in me. So, for example, I can't get over the idea that I'm still a crazy person because for 4 years I've been saying that Biden is not fit cognitively to be in the Oval Office.
But that's the risk of this technique, is that you disenfranchise the individual's capacity to trust themselves.
All of us.
Yeah.
And so what I'm looking
that's what's at play right now.
But how is it that I'm still under this spell? I mean, I've clearly broken from this thing. I've been talking about this for 4 years. There is no vindication. There is no absolution. There's no apology. The system is simply going to try to go and anoint Kamala Harris as if there was a democratic process in place, which I want to get into this. This is mind control at scale.
It's mind control. Well, it's making mistakes, showing your hand at making the mistake, and then offering no redemption to the people that have known the truth all along. And that's, we had talked about this concept of redemption, that if we were going to really restore the heart of this country, and if we were really going to set up the conditions for a prolific, indefinite human future.
Yeah.
Redemption is a key piece of that.
Redemption, but also exoneration, because a lot of people, I don't require redemption in this case. I require.
I think you do, though, but go on.
Well, because I don't think I did anything wrong. In other words,
but you were made
But this is what I'm trying to say.
Every effort was to make you feel wrong.
A person wrongly accused needs to be exonerated.
Yes.
But
who is going to offer you that exoneration?
Well, so this is my question, which is, what do I make of institutions? Think about the level of collaboration needed for no psychiatrists, no geriatric medicine specialists, Parkinson's specialists, no neurologists, nobody in the inner circle. I mean, more or less, it's like Murder on the Orient Express, where all of the experts were colluding to pretend that the bad people were the people speaking the truth, who worried about not having a functioning president while we're in a half proxy war with Russia, with a thermonuclear.
He's absolutely right on so many different levels. First of all, he's brilliant. Both Brett and Eric Weinstein are brilliant. I don't care what you think or say about them. They're brilliant people. Both their performances on the Joe Rogan podcast have been amazing. Both their backgrounds, their intellectual accomplishments are just astounding. Not always right, but earnest, smart, high IQ, good values, principled people. But Obama basically said the exact same thing in this clip. This is clip number 68. This is what they do.
You just have to flood a country's public square with enough raw sewage. You just have to raise enough questions, spread enough dirt, plant enough conspiracy theorizing that citizens no longer know what to believe. Once they lose trust in their leaders, in mainstream media, in political institutions, in each other, in the possibility of truth, the game's won.
The game is won. And sometimes they slip up and admit that there's been a conspiracy, admit that they lied, like Mayor Pete does in this clip number 53 we're going to play in a second. But it doesn't even matter when they slip up. It doesn't matter when Kamala Harris accidentally mentions that the phone call with Joe Biden was a recording and then catches herself and corrects it. It doesn't matter when Barack Obama accidentally calls Michelle Michael. It doesn't matter when Mayor Pete admits that they knew that that Biden was in cognitive decline and lied about it. It doesn't matter when the reports come out and say the masks never did anything, that 6 feet to slow the spread never did anything, that the vaccines don't work, that they're actually causing myocarditis and terrible issues. I mean, I have a whole stack here, for example. We'll just go through this quickly at the overhead cam. COVID shots break people's eyes. Study show. Pacemaker patients experience heartbeat irregularities post-COVID and flu shot. Study. Microplastics in the brain have increased 50% in the last 8 years. Pentagon admits it spread disinformation about the COVID vaccine report. Fluoride exposure during pregnancy linked to neurobehavioral issues in children and 620% higher risk of myocarditis after mRNA COVID vaccine. Doesn't matter that they admit it because you've already been brainwashed. It's already too late. This is clip 53.
Meanwhile, we have a new nominee.
And was she aware of how he was doing?
We're all aware of how he's doing. Our country has watched our president lead. And yes, we've also seen the fact that he's 10 years older than he was 10 years ago.
And we've also observed that he's lost his damn mind. But hey, as long as it's not Trump, wouldn't you rather have a nice old man surrounded by competent people than a convicted felon, even though we have trumped up charges and a corrupt DOJ that came after that person? But it doesn't matter when they admit it. It doesn't matter when it's leaked, when the truth comes out, when the correction is made, when the fact check gets fact checked. when the debunking is debunked, because the brainwashing installation is already complete, the antivirus software has already been installed in the minds of the people, and you cannot throw any amount of truth at them to convince them otherwise, because they are NPCs, non-player characters. And for those of you in the audience who don't play video games, a non-player character is a character in the video game that is the video game. So whether you go to the blacksmith in the video game, whether it's midnight or whether it's in the morning, he's always behind the table. He's always ready to buy or sell armor or weapons to you. He doesn't have a family. He doesn't really have a story other than what's pre-scripted, and he is just operating as a non-player character. You are the only entity in a video game that has free will. Everything else is designed to interact with you in a pre-programmed way, just like the majority of our population in the United States and the majority of the population in the world, which has been brainwashed and programmed to be non-player characters. They want you to sacrifice the first gift given to you by God, which is your own free will. And then that will be the total satanic takeover of all of humankind, while the elites bask in their affection for the ultimate evil. Total power, total self-worship, and immortality manufactured by their satanic technology. This is clip number 54. SWAT saying the assassination attempt on Trump was an inside job.
We were supposed to get a face-to-face briefing with the Secret Service snipers whenever they arrived, and that never happened. So I think that was probably a pivotal point where I started thinking things were wrong, because that never happened, and we had no communication with the Secret Service.
You had no communication with the Secret Service at all on that Saturday?
Not until after the shooting.
And by then?
It was too late.
Boom. Boom. But it doesn't matter, does it? Because the disinformation has already been installed. FBI Director Christopher Wray came out and said that it might not have been a bullet that hit Trump's ear. Then the next day they corrected it and say it was definitely a bullet, but it's too late. It's already gone viral among the left that there wasn't really an assassination attempt, that maybe no shots were even fired. Joy Reid's celebrating out there. It was shrapnel. That wasn't a shot. Stick with us, folks. More great news and clips to cover on the other side of this short break. Visit InfoWarsStore.com and send the New World Order straight to hell.
So number one, you've got central banks now starting to buy it by the tons, right? It's a lot. You've now got Chinese citizens being encouraged to not just buy gold, but buy silver, because China and Russia want to destroy the Western banks. And the Western banks, JP Morgan Chase and HSBC, have the largest number of naked short positions on the planet. I think between the two of them, they have over 900 million ounces of silver in short position. Well, only 1.2 billion ounces of silver is mined every year globally. So they've got almost the entire annual production in a short position. That means when the price goes up, these banks lose money hand over fist in multiples. China knows this, which is why they're encouraging all of their citizens now to buy not just gold, but buy silver, because that creates more demand. Every time silver goes up in price, the Western banks lose money in multiples because they're in the wrong side of the transaction. They want to do it to destroy the West, and they want to do it to make a financial gain. Both of those in their minds are legitimate enough reasons to do something, right? But let's look at silver, because that's what we're allocated into right now, because the ratio between gold and silver points towards silver. It's outperforming. Where were we just 4 years ago? 1191. But now since then, we've gone from 1191 to almost 30 in the last 4 years. See, the trend is accelerating because the geopolitical dynamics are causing its growth. It's not just a flight for safety. It's not just a way to preserve and protect your freedoms and get out of these unified ledgers and these social credit scoring systems and this digital money. You're getting something tangible that actually doesn't just grow. It's growing tremendously. It's up like 40% in 4 months. That's amazing. But you also have something that can maintain your freedoms, Alex. That's the tangible intangible, which is as our freedoms
I can't believe we have millions of viewers right now and maybe 500 people call you. It's a sponsor. I only promote what I think is great. So I sell water filtration systems that have the highest rating for like half the price on average. and I sell high quality supplements. I just sell stuff that I think is great. Everybody should call you and get into silver and gold right now. There's nothing performing as good as it. I mean, it's like it's on record. It's the best investment, but the stockbrokers won't tell you that. The globalist argument is, oh, the world's in turmoil and everything's collapsing. We got to be strong, and America's got to threaten Russia and China to keep us as the dollar. But they're the ones that undermine the currency. They're the ones that brought us into this situation, and so that's why this is so incredibly dangerous. This just tried to kill Trump just 10, 11 days ago. They are going for broke. I wish we weren't in this position. But we are. But by admitting where we are, we have a real chance of waking up, like Congress saying, we know you tried to kill Trump. Buying silver is the smartest bet there is. You'd have bought silver a year ago, up 20, 30%. That's what you want. And silver is the big mover in this economy. So go now to kepm.com/gold or 720-605-3900. We'll explain it all to you. Most of the gold and silver companies are charging you huge 30, 40, 50% premiums. And most of the conservative talk show hosts are doing it too. And I talked to him in person. I say, you need Kirk Elliott.
What does Goldman Sachs think gold is going to do before the end of the year? $2,700 an ounce.
And I'm sitting here saying it funds us, it keeps us on air, and it's the best investment, hands down, in an imperfect world. I mean,
this is, to me, is one of the most important things to protect your financial future ever.
Go now to kepm.com/gold.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones.
It's the Alex Jones Show, ladies and gentlemen. I am Chase Geiser, your host, for the remaining 27 minutes of this show and then 2 hours of the Sunday Night Live weekly broadcast, which I regularly host at Infowars.com/show or at band.video. It can also be viewed on Rumble, several other platforms, especially on X, at Real Alex Jones, as well as at Infowars. Where should I even begin this segment? Let's talk about Google censoring search results related to the Trump assassination. So we saw today all over social media, it was blowing up, that, Google's AI platform, Gemini, is not responding to any questions about either the JFK assassination, apparently, or the assassination attempt of Donald Trump. And it comes up with some boilerplate kind of disclaimer in response. You ask it, what happened with the assassination attempt on July 13th, 2024? It says, oh, we're still working out the kinks here at Gemini, and we can't really respond to this question. Please make sure you fact check everything that Gemini says, because sometimes we can make mistakes. But it's the search results that are being censored as well. It's the Gemini AI responses that are being censored. They're trying to control and constrict the narrative to ensure that nobody has a conversation about what happened, to ensure that it's forgotten as quickly as possible, because they know how powerful that moment was for the Trump campaign, for populism, for America first, how much of a threat it was to globalism and the deep state and the New World Order takeover, that they want it totally forgotten. And by God, they might be successful. I mean, there's only like one place on the internet other than Infowars.com where you have a critical mass large enough to have a meaningful impact on the perceptions of reality of the people of the earth. And that place is X.com. And say what you will about Elon Musk, good guy, bad guy, hero, villain. I think he's probably a hero. I think he's probably a once in a couple hundred years level brilliant, like Einstein level, Rockefeller level, Benjamin Franklin level, kind of just like a polymath. But he's a human being just like everybody else. He's not a god among men. He's not an angel among men. So I'm sure that one day he'll disappoint us somehow in a small way or a big way, or maybe in the past he's done some things that are really disappointing. Maybe it's Neuralink. Maybe Neuralink gets hijacked by the deep state and everybody's suddenly controlled through the microscopic threads installed in their brain by a centralized computer system, and it becomes the end of the world in a sci-fi novel. Maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe he has good intentions, but everybody's going to get it installed in their brain, and suddenly having access to the internet isn't something that you use, but something that uses you. Maybe that is the end of it. But I think he's a hero, and his platform has saved freedom of speech. And I don't know if Trump would have won this election without Elon Musk purchasing X, because of things like this story of Google censoring search results. And they've been doing this for a long time. Years. I mean, years ago, I remember looking up American inventors, and I think they've since corrected this. But if you searched American inventors, they would show you images of only black inventors to compensate for some sort of systemic racism or injustices of the past. Like, hey, by the way, black people are smart too. It's not just a bunch of white guys. Kind of like what we saw at the Olympics, where they just insult all of the accomplishments of a culture or civilization or a value system foreign to their political agenda of brainwashing you into being transgender so they can sterilize you and ensure you have no children and then control every aspect of your life. But this is clip number 25 here. See it right there. Try to type it in. It does not suggest Donald Trump. And even if you Truman comes up first. Teddy, we're just not going to put Trump's name in the search result. And I saw tons of people. I didn't check it myself because I saw so many people I trust rechecked and rechecked and rechecked. Same exact results. And so, if Google's doing it, then does that mean that Amazon is doing it? And if Amazon is doing it, does that mean that Meta is doing it? And if Meta is doing it, that means Instagram is doing it. And if they're doing it, does that mean Snapchat is doing it? And if Google owns YouTube, that means YouTube is doing it. Oh, so 90% of the information consumed by the world is totally controlled by the deep state? It's something we've been talking about here on InfoWars for 30 years. I've certainly been talking about it the last 1 year that I've been here. We all know that this is a war for your mind. And whenever there have been developments or innovations, whenever there's been progress toward a liberation from the tyranny of any conglomerated power, any deep state, those technologies, tools, methods, developments, they always end up hijacked, similar to how the left has hijacked our language itself by changing the meaning of words. Vaccine, racism, misogynist, sexism, anti-Semitism. They change the meaning of all these words from what they actually mean to something they could just apply to anyone at any time if it's politically convenient for them to do so. But we saw with the development of the nuclear bomb, yes, on one end, it ended World War II, but then it kind of put the world perpetually under threat of nuclear annihilation ever since then. So was it a good thing or was it a bad thing? With the development of the internet through DARPANET, made by the government, it's amazing because it opened up the floodgates to the internet and all this development and the .com boom and just amazing social networks and technology. But then it was hijacked by the deep state to manipulate the psychology of the masses and weaponized against us. And there's countless examples of these developments or changes that have at first been liberating and good and meaningful and amazing, then they get hijacked by corrupt entities and used against. It's like Satan taking the creations of God and then just like malforming them, inverting them, and then abusing them back onto the medium. And that's one of my concerns about Bitcoin. I am somebody who believes in cryptocurrency. I believe in Bitcoin. I think it's great that it's capped how many Bitcoins will be developed. I think decentralized banking blockchain technology is an amazing way to maintain anonymity and establish basically perfection in terms of the authenticity of all transactions and avoiding fraud. And this technology is so amazing, but then when you look at the history of it, it's so cloaked in mystery. Who this Satoshi Nakamoto was. Was it Elon Musk? Was it someone else? Was it a group of people working for the CIA? And part of the thing, one of the things that's most alarming to me about it is how this technology is developed, and then there's a proof of concept with Bitcoin where it proves that it works. I mean, enough people adopted it. There was this critical mass that was reached where enough people were using Bitcoin for internet transactions that it proved that the technology worked, kind of like a beta test. And as soon as this decentralized blockchain technology is proven to have worked after being anonymously made public, then all of a sudden you hear about concepts from the International Monetary Fund of central bank digital currencies and cashless societies that Alex Jones has been barking about since at least 2001, even before that. Cops in black ski masks, cashless societies. That's a rant that he did in early 2001, if my memory serves. And you're like, wait a minute. Was Bitcoin designed by the deep state as a test case for central bank digital currencies, which would be able to monitor and control? Because you can invert it. Everything good about Bitcoin, you can invert the other way around to apply for opposite purposes. And I'm not saying Bitcoin's bad or Bitcoin users are bad at all. I advocate for something other than this fiat system that we have. Obviously, Bitcoin is much more convenient than physically holding a gold bar, especially if you want to have a transaction with somebody overseas. I mean, the gold would be great, I guess, in the case of an apocalypse where there is no internet or power, but Bitcoin makes sense as a plan B. But what if the technology behind Bitcoin was just exploiting and using freedom-loving, libertarian-minded, technically savvy people to prove that a central bank digital currency immediately adopted at a massive scale would actually work? And then you have total economic tyranny. So they have cultural tyranny via Hollywood and Disney and all these institutions, like the Olympics, like what we saw. And then you have psychological tyranny. So cultural and then psychological tyranny through Project Mockingbird and in the mainstream media, infiltration from the deep state. And then once you have cultural and psychological tyranny, then you establish economic tyranny. They've already got the military tyranny, basically. It's just this sheathed sword on the domestic population as of now. But once you have people economically strapped and all of their communications are monitored and all of the information they consume is controlled and their culture is controlled and their values are controlled and their psychology is controlled, then you have a situation in which billions of people could be enslaved and not even know it. But I want to show you these clips because Donald Trump spoke at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville, Tennessee. I couldn't make it this year. I wanted to go. I had a friend that could hook me up with some tickets, but just too much going on here at the InfoWar. And I'm not criticizing Trump for being supportive of Bitcoin, and I think he's got the best intentions, and I don't even think that he's even wrong necessarily. I'm just very concerned about where this technology comes from and how it can be used and weaponized by the deep state to accomplish the opposite of the intention of Bitcoin as it is discussed today. Let's run clip number 48.
Final part of my plan today, I am announcing that if I am elected, it will be the policy of my administration, United States of America, to keep 100% of all the Bitcoin the U.S. government currently holds or acquires into the future. We'll keep 100%. I hope you do well, please. This will serve in effect as the core of the strategic national Bitcoin stockpile.
Let's play 49 too. This is RFK Jr. at the same conference, I believe, making a similar claim. And you got Donald Trump, who is the antithesis of the deep state. He's the populist president. He's the America First guy. He's coming out to many men when he's walking out, which is about basically getting revenge for all those who tried to kill you and want to kill you. I mean, this is somebody who I believe is going to shatter the deep state into 1,000 pieces and scatter it to the wind. But RFK Jr., in my opinion, is basically the CIA because he hired a former CIA agent to manage his campaign and then married her into his family. So he's collecting donations for his campaign. He's paying his family with those donations. And then his family is former CIA, if there is such a thing. Once CIA, always CIA. And yet he's coming out and he's critical of the intelligence community because they murdered several of his close family members, all while he's hiring the CIA to run his campaign. I mean, it sounds like he's faking being against the deep state as an op for the deep state. And he's coming out here in 49 and talking about Bitcoin in a similar fashion, which raises some red flags for me.
I will sign another executive order directing the U.S. Treasury to purchase 550 Bitcoin daily until the U.S. has built a reserve of at least 4 million Bitcoins. And a position of dominance that no other country will be able to usurp. Our nation holds approximately 19% of global gold reserves. This policy will give us about the same proportion of total Bitcoin. The cascading impact from these actions will eventually move Bitcoin to a valuation of hundreds of trillions of dollars.
Well, I guess. I don't know what to tell you, folks. I'm not an economic expert. Don't have a degree in economics. I read Wealth of Nations. I've read Milton Friedman's books. I've read several economic books. Familiar with Keynesian economics and Austrian economics. I'm familiar with Ron Paul. I'm familiar with contemporary economic theory and common sense. And obviously, our fractional reserve banking system is unsustainable, and it's built on debt and dependent on debt, and the debt must expand, and inflation will always be a problem, and it just won't work forever. It'll collapse, and it'll be a brutal Ponzi level collapse when it happens, painful for everyone. And I hope that Bitcoin is the answer, or some cryptocurrency, or this blockchain technology. But the future is clouded by the dark side of the force, and the dark side is definitely working within this system, this operation. And just like what happened with the Tor browser, the deep state came out with the Tor browser, which was supposed to be this private browser, making it impossible to track the behavior of any person from any device in terms of what they do on the internet. Turns out that the Tor browser was created secretly by the deep state, released, and then there were backdoors that were installed all over it so they could trace all of your actions whenever they needed to, NSA and others. So they have a history of releasing things anonymously and publicly via the internet, advanced technology like this, whether it's a Tor browser or cryptocurrencies, and then putting unseen or unknown backdoors in this technology. And I know the white paper is all public and stuff for Bitcoin, but they put backdoors in this technology so that they can use it and weaponize it for the opposite of what it's supposed to do. Tor browser was supposed to keep your privacy great, and it was actually the vulnerability to your privacy. Bitcoin is supposed to liberate you economically, but the blockchain technology behind it is going to be weaponized by the International Monetary Fund for central bank digital currencies, which are going to control all of your transactions and allow you only portions of your own money to be spent on specific things. I mean, with this technology, they can say if you have $1,000 in your bank account that you're only allowed to spend 100 of it on fossil fuels this month. Even if you have $1,000, you can't spend it all on fossil fuels if you want. You're only allocated. That's the level of control that central bank digital currencies provide governments. That's why the CCP was one of the first governments to launch its own cryptocurrency and tie it and tether it to a social credit score so they can control the behavior, thoughts, beliefs of their entire population on a massive scale. And let me tell you something, folks. The over 30,000 military-aged Chinese nationals that came across the border illegally into the United States did not come here because they escaped China. It is impossible to escape China. You want to talk about an open-air prison? That's any communist nation. Those people were sent here by the CCP as sleeper cells. All while our leaders, the Vice President of the United States, who may be the next president, God forbid, probably not, but God forbid, we should not underestimate this woman, celebrates in clip 32 the defunding of the police, gives support to bailing out criminals during the Summer of Love, the George Floyd protests, and then lies about it. But we have the receipts. We have all of the tweets proving that she supported bailing out criminals during these protests, who then later committed even more crimes. Now she's lying about it, backpedaling it, just like they've been backpedaling all week that she was ever the borders are. I'll show you some clips of that too as we go on. But watch here, clip 32. Kamala Harris gives support to defund the police movement.
trying to look, part of this movement, and it's not just a moment, it's a movement, standing on the shoulders of the movements before. Part of this has to be about changing the system, rehauling the system, upending the system. And so that piece of it, you're right. Under this Attorney General, I have no hope for it being implemented. But God willing, he will be out of that office shortly. And then we need to have a requirement that that office do the right thing going forward.
So then if you're for overhauling, where do you stand on defund the police?
Look, right. So here's the thing, defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety. And when you have many cities that have 1/3 of their entire city budget focused on policing, we know that is not the smart way and the best way or the right way to achieve safety. For too long, the status quo thinking has been, you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong. Because, by the way, if you want to look at upper middle class suburban neighborhoods, they don't have that patrol car. They don't have those police walking those streets. But what they do have, they have well-funded schools. What they do have is home ownership, high home ownership rates. What they do have are thriving small businesses. What they do have is access to public health and mental health services. So this whole movement is about rightly saying, we need to take a look at these budgets and figure out whether it reflects the right priorities.
That's Kamala Harris for you. Defunding the police, opening the border for invasion, and allowing the burning of Troy. So many Trojan horses. And even the left is skeptical. We showed you the clip last week of AOC saying that there was a schism within the Democratic Party as to whether or not Kamala Harris should even be the candidate. And we've seen all these endorsements come out this week. Even from the Obamas, there was a phone call that was recorded, and they endorsed her finally after some reluctance, and then the Clintons endorsed her as well. But just because there's an endorsement doesn't mean that there isn't a schism. And keep in mind, folks, that the Democrats were universally behind Joe Biden until they weren't. And we hear this CNN roundtable in clip 31 dissing Kamala Harris as an expression of some of the conflicting sentiments within the Democratic Party and the leftist deep state.
Interesting news. Recent focus groups conducted by the Super PAC Republican voters against Trump found that swing voters don't like Harris. And focus groups conducted by the Democratic National Committee also found Harris rubs some people the wrong way. So, Jonah, how big a drag is Kamala Harris on the ticket?
I think she's a pretty big drag. I think she was arguably Biden's worst political decision of his presidency to pick her in the first place. And one of the special reasons that she's a drag is Biden's age concerns people. They worry that he can't fill a term. They worry that he's not up to the job. And so the vice president matters more than they normally do. I generally think going into the future that Democrats really should not nominate or front people who come from decidedly all blue states, unless they're like once in a generation talents like Barack Obama, because Kamala Harris does not know how to talk to the center or to the right. She only really knows how to sort of speak the language of the base of the party, and that's 34% of the electorate.
Let me pick up on that, because it's not just focus groups that are down on Harris right now. In a recent poll, national poll, 40% approved of the vice president's job performance, while 55% disapproved. And Kara, to Jonah's point, given the fact that people are so worried, voters on all political stripes are so worried about Biden's age and whether he's going to last for 4 more years, is it a problem when they're not very satisfied or reassured by the person who would succeed him?
Doesn't really matter. She's not going to be replaced, and they don't like her. There's lots of reasons they don't like her, and I don't think the vice president matters as much as people think. I don't think they think about her unless
With an 82-year-old
Yes, I get
president,
that.
it might
I get
matter
that,
more.
but right now, I don't think that's the first thing they think about is her necessarily. I just don't. I think they've not liked her. She's had not a successful vice presidency, although I don't know what that means at all, because I don't think people thought of Mike Pence very much, or Dan Quayle, or anybody else. And so it doesn't matter because she's not going anywhere. He is not going to replace her. Think about that. Think about the earthquake that would cause. And so
I think Joan is right, though, in the sense that she really does struggle with her communication skills. She really, really.
Well, it's so interesting you say that because the vice president's
By the way,
staff.
just notice the production here. Nobody sits in a room like that to have a conversation. They do the same thing on The View. They do the same thing on The Five and Outnumbered on Fox. Like, who sits in a room like that to have a conversation? Like, oh, we're just like you folks, just sitting around in our suits in this fake room with this fake background and these fake plants and this fake coffee table with our cups full of coffee that we never drink. It's just bizarre. It's like a symbol or a metaphor for the entire establishment corporate media itself.
The media writes a story, Kamala Harris finds her voice, and usually it's on the abortion message. If she had a strong, consistent voice and was really finding a lot of success as vice president, we wouldn't read an article every 6 months.
yes, because no one ever writes
her
about women
finding
and
her
their
voice.
voices. No one ever writes about women smiling or being
Well,
appealing.
you know,
Come
I
on.
kind of anticipated this.
I'm sorry,
People
but it's
write
just-
about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his voice.
Not that much. Come on.
Oh,
And it's a particularly annoying voice, by the way. But that's besides the point. It's
like precisely the
it's
point.
so
Her
typical.
voice
Look,
is an
she's
issue.
got a problem with communicating. She sounds like a prosecutor. I would say that's probably she sounds like what she was for years. I think the issue is
Prosecutor?
she's also a woman. She's also a woman of color. And I'm not blaming it on that necessarily, but she has got a lot of inbuilt things.
Are you suggesting that
I
women
want to see the
don't
plant.
face
There
a
it
double
is.
standard in politics?
What kind of
I'm
plan is
just
that?
saying
Go to
that-
InfoWarsStore.com. We don't sell fake plants. We sell real supplements, and they keep us on the war and the fight against the New World Order. Sunday Night Live with me for 2 hours. On the other side, keep your phones close by for calls.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas. The first reports say that President Kennedy has been seriously wounded by this shooting.
Assassins need payroll, schedules, times, orders. This was a military-style ambush from start to finish, to a coup d'etat.
It was an inside job, by the well-connected. Your little protest, summarily rejected. It was an inside job, like it always is. Chalk it up to business as usual.
I seen his face when it hit. His ear blew off.
Its most direct and tragic result was the reversal of President Kennedy's commitment to withdraw from Vietnam.
And it's an inside job, favors directed. Your trusted servants have left you unprotected. Was an inside job, like it always is. Just chalk it up to business as usual.
The war is the biggest business in America, worth $80 billion a year.
The deep state is coming after me even harder, since I pledged to swiftly end the war in Ukraine. So I will have that settlement done within 24 hours.
This has been another public service announcement, paid for by the Dilly Meme team.
Please support us at InfoWarsStore.com. The new Bulletproof t-shirt's out. We need the support. It's an amazing shirt. Support InfoWars. We support Trump. Get the new Bulletproof President Trump shirt at InfoWarsStore.com. We'll be back.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones. The Alex Jones Show, because there is a war on for your mind.
Biden
rain is out and Kamala is in. The election went from drool runnings to cool runnings faster than a female cop can fumble her firearm. Move over, RFK. This November, we've got a new throat goat, and apparently her headshots don't miss. Kamala Harris, or as we call her, Warhawk Tua, the half-black, half-Indian parents met at a 7-Eleven robbery, is officially the Democratic nominee. Surely the Dems, the party that calls Trump the end of democracy, surely they allowed the voters to choose Kamala, right? What? No? Wait, there's no right to choose? Guys, this is a presidential election, not a woman's body in Oklahoma. Now, I don't want to seem like a flat earthing, dinosaur denying, believe all women conspiracy theorist, but it kind of feels like the Democrats dragged Biden's lifeless corpse through the campaign long enough to avoid a primary so they could place whoever they wanted as the nominee. And that's about as democratic as North Korea's Got Talent. Sidebar, last year's winner, Ching Chong Chestnut, ate 46 rats. Congratulations, Ching Chong. That's a lot of rats. We'll look forward to seeing how many you eat next year. What I'm saying is they used a vegetable to install a plant. And honestly, we would have been happier with a fruit. But the reality is it doesn't matter. Last week, Trump became invincible. Literally. He was leading before, and now he's number one with a bullet. At this point, if the Dems wanted to beat Thrifty Cent, they'd have to run George Washington, and Kamala could work for him. Paid. Now, why is Trump invincible? Because he has the power of Hulkamania, obviously, brother, with a hard R, and also because this pimple-lipped, pug-faced incel, we'll call him a trench bulldog, tried to make Trump's brain public domain. Fortunately, even a bullet couldn't make Donald open-minded. Now, getting a shot off at the president must be an incredibly difficult thing to accomplish. I mean, not as difficult as finding binoculars to fit his eyes. Jesus, he looks like the sloth from Ice Age, but he must have designed a pretty ingenious plot to circumvent the Secret Service and oh, what's that? Wait, you're saying that Herbie Potter was just walking around with a loaded gun like he was on an Alex Finder? He propped it up on a building that had cops in it, positioned himself on the roof with a perfect sight line to the president, and no one did anything? This Mickey Mouse security detail was so goofy it made Donald duck. Oh, boy. Who's in charge of the Secret Service? A lady? Wait, what? Seriously? Well, of course she didn't have anyone on top of the building. Women only care about shots on a roof when there's a pool party. Now, I don't want to seem like a Bigfoot tracking, moon landing denying Jews don't control the weather conspiracy theorist, but it doesn't exactly feel like a 20-year-old fetal alcohol-faced McLovin should be able to infiltrate the most advanced security detail in history. I mean, the only other thing he's penetrated was his palm. Did Kim Cheadle hire? This just doesn't feel right. And that's the problem. Nothing feels right. We have officially entered the post-truth age. We can't trust the media. We can't trust the government. We can't trust the pharmaceutical industry. We can't even trust the food we eat. So who can you trust? Me, your good friend Schultze. This episode has been brought to you by Pfizer. There is no promo code. There's nothing to fill out. They're already inside you. But before we bitch, whine, and complain, just remember, like it or not, this is what we asked for. We wanted fast content that makes us feel good. We want politicians who lie to us. We want sugary food to fill us up and pills to slim us down. We don't want what's good for us. We want what's convenient. So we made our bed. Might as well get comfy. Sleep tight.
Welcome to the Alex Jones Show, ladies and gentlemen. I am Chase Geiser, your host. This evening, we've got so much great news to cover over the course of the next 4 hours that we will be together. I will be hosting the Alex Jones Show as well as Sunday Night Live, as I usually do. Alex will be back in studio tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. So we have one break coming up for 1 minute in 20 seconds. Please open up a new tab. Pull up on your phone, InfoWarsStore.com or DrJonesNaturals.com. That's DrJonesNaturals.com, and be the reason that we are still on the air. Stay tuned for more on the other side of this 1 minute break.
This is a real attempt to turn America and the world around. This is a real attempt to stop World War III. This is a real attempt to save civilization for our children, because there's not just evil in the world, there's good as well. And so you've got to decide that that's happening and join it and promote it and support Trump and support us and spread the word, because that's what they fear is when you get a mission and you get committed and you take action. So tell everybody about the links at Real Alex Jones. Share the articles, share the videos, follow us at Real Alex Jones, and support us at drjonesnaturals.com with the great products. Support us at InfoWarsStore.com. Get things you need. It takes money to win a war. InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. A big sale going on right now. Everybody needs nitric boost. It cleans out your blood and flushes all this crap out. Everybody needs the Nano Silver toothpaste and products at drjonesnaturals.com. This is a war!
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance. Live from Austin, Texas, you're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Welcome to The Alex Jones Show, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. I am Chase Geiser, your host for the duration of the evening. We will be on air together for the next 4 hours. We'll do 2 or 3 hours of news, followed by your phone calls for sure. Sunday night calls are among my favorite, because I'm so used to doing morning shows or filling in during the day, but the nighttime callers, it's a whole different vibe. It's like some Art Bell material from the old Coast to Coast days or something like that. Well, I don't even know where to begin, because this weekend has just been a litany of Satanism and globalism. And it occurred to me as I was watching the opening ceremony of the Olympics that there's nothing really more globalist than the Olympics. By definition, it's this idea that all the nations will come together for this good sportsmanship competition and see which nations are the best at different athletic events. And it's going to be this symbol of peace and harmony and our ability to communicate and interact with each other, and how it's all one species and it's all one world. And it's just this harmonious thing where we can compete and be friends at the end. And we hand out these little medallions, these little medals, and we pat each other on the back, and we talk about the different athletes and their accomplishments and remark on the records of the past and show clips of years and years ago and compare the performance of the figure skaters of this year versus the figure skaters of the Olympics in the 1930s. And wow, how far have athletes come over the course of the last 100 years? But when push comes to shove, if you actually analyze the Olympics, and I'm not opposed to international teams coming together and competing, but it really is it's this excuse that nations make to tax the snot out of their people, to have somewhat of a lottery process. I know it's selected by committee as to which city, which country is going to host the Olympics. And then it's a massive influx of tourist dollars into that city. And all these athletes come, and it's an excuse for these governments to spend millions upon millions. If not, I wouldn't even be surprised if not by now, over $1 billion on these events. And we know that all of the government spending throughout the entire world, whether it's in the United States or in other countries, is riddled with money laundering and corruption and conspiracy to just engage in nepotism, one form or another. They get together and they do these bizarre opening ceremonies, and they've just gotten weirder and weirder. I'm going to show you a couple of them. But even in 2012, this is clip number 4. Even in 2012, it was almost as if they were predicting the COVID pandemic with this opening ceremony. So this isn't the first time that we've seen a macabre, satanic opening ceremony for the Olympics. Let's look at what happened in 2012.
Scary demons spreading like a virus. Zombie-like healthcare workers. Terrified children. Death. NHS? Why all the subliminal messages during the closing ceremony about anger, death, rage, and the end of the world? Can anybody please explain to us what any of this has to do with sports? With the Olympic Games? Who could have known back then that their so-called artistic show was actually an appalling glimpse into our future? We can never say we didn't know. We were warned all along, just like they've already warned us about the next outbreak.
We'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is will get attention this time.
Basically, the so-called
Okay, we can pull out. You guys got the point. There's been bizarre. Why can't we just do it like Russia? Russia did it better. I want to show you what an opening
This
ceremony
is basically the
could
show we
look
did
like.
last night. If you
Something
guys
that
wanna go back and watch
reflects
that, it's pretty good.
respectfully one's own culture in a way that it pays homage to one's own culture while inviting and welcoming and celebrating these other countries coming and visiting, but still being proud of your own national identity, still being proud to be whatever country you come from. So if we had an American Olympics, we would have something that would really reflect what it means to be American in a way that is proud, but also welcoming and exciting and celebratory instead of this globalist, dystopian, apocalyptic garbage that we've seen where they mock religion and then they try to walk it back. We'll talk a little bit about that by saying, oh, it wasn't the Last Supper. It was another painting that was from 18 years after the Last Supper was painted. Just baloney. But let's look at how Russia did it. This is 62. I swear, the more I see from Russia, the more I just hope they invade all of Europe. And what problem does Europe have that wouldn't be solved by Russian occupation? I'd rather see it occupied by Orthodox Russians than radical Islamists.
Появился Андрей Болконский из сердца Наташи.
Князь Андрей с учтивым и низким поклоном подошел к Наташе. Он предложил ей тур вальса. То замирающее выражение лица Наташи, готовой на отчаяние и восторг, вдруг осветилось счастливой, благодарной, детской улыбкой. Кажется, что это случилось вчера. Кажется, что это случилось с нами.
Несчастный Пьер отходит в сторону, не в силах противиться.
And I know this is a longer clip. It's just a couple of minutes, but it warrants it. It's truly beautiful. These are masters of their craft who have trained their entire lives to learn how to do something incredibly difficult with an incredible degree of perfection. This is the definition of self-actualization. When you identify what it is that you're meant to do, you dedicate your life to it, and you do it at such an astounding level that it inspires something in every single human all over the world, instead of this macabre crap with Baphomet and some goat dude in front of the Last Supper celebrating transgenderism, celebrating obesity, all that which is unhealthy, all of that cultural erosion that has been the predecessor of every collapse of every major civilization so far as we have documented in written human history, then I suspect that we might have had great civilizations that aren't even written about in written history as we know it from thousands of years ago that destroyed themselves. But cultural decadence is the foreshadowing of total collapse. Even Tacitus wrote about this. I believe it was Tacitus wrote about this. He was in Rome and he was saying, look, these Germans are going to be a real problem for us. This is an ancient Rome because they're just married to one person their entire lives. They're dedicated to their families. They have values, and Rome has become hedonistic. Rome has become decadent. All we care about is debauchery and orgies and wine and our false gods. And he wrote about it, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but he wrote about this in his history, Tacitus. I had to read about it in my ancient civilization course in college, and he saw it coming. And the same thing happened in the 1920s in Berlin, in the Weimar Republic. During the Roaring 20s, happened in the United States too. There was this decadence. It was all this drinking and this elite class that could just totally transcend all of the laws and drink as much alcohol as they wanted, even though it was prohibition. And they were just engaged in this debauchery like something out of F. Scott Fitzgerald novel. And then it immediately leads to this collapse in 1929. Everybody's jumping out of buildings, committing suicide. Alcoholism is rampant then because it's the Great Depression. I think it was the 1930s, maybe it was earlier, that the Big Blue Book was written, the Alcoholics Anonymous book. There's certainly stories in it from all the way far back into the 30s. And then this total collapse, what does it always end up leading to? Regardless of the civilization? Well, it almost always leads to, if not every single time, incredible violence at unprecedented scales. Whether it's World War I, whether it's World War II, whether it's World War III, which is coming right up, whether it's all the wars that Rome was involved in during its collapse, it's a level of desperation akin to that which we are witnessing right now from the mainstream corporate media as it dies, as it has become decadent and given up all of its values, its journalistic integrity. It has seen its own death. It is diagnosed with the terminal illness of apathy among all listeners and members of the audience who don't tune in to these mainstream media networks anymore, who don't read these mainstream articles anymore because they're boring and they're lies. I mean, the only reason anybody actually reads the news, there's two reasons that anyone actually reads mainstream news or views mainstream television. One reason is that they're brainwashed, and so they just eat it up as fuel for their psychological mental illness, similar to how the transgender people insist that you use their pronouns. These people want to insist that reality, that lies reaffirm their false reality. So they just love consuming this news that lies to them and just pivots and gives them all the talking points they need to be comfortable in their preconceived notions about the nature of the universe and our political climate today. So one reason is to sustain your brainwashing. And the other reason is so you can be aware of what the deep state is trying to say to you or what the deep state wants you to believe. I mean, I've got a lot of articles on the desk right now that are analyzing mainstream media articles or mainstream media networks and what they've said and what they're reporting, not because we're trying to stay brainwashed by the mainstream media or not because we endorse or condone the reporting from these outlets, but because we are trying to analyze what the globalists, what the deep state wants us to believe or is trying to gaslight us into believing or is trying to manipulate us into believing. And so while Europe goes up there under its new European Union, which might as well be Eurasia from 1984, it makes a mockery not only of Christianity by mimicking the Last Supper, and they'll tell you that it's not the Last Supper. They'll tell you that it's some other painting. Guys, will you look it up? It's something feast of the gods or something like that, I think is the name of the painting. They're saying that I don't know if it's Dionysus or not. I don't think so, because I don't think Dionysus had goat legs like he did in this painting. I think it's called Feast of the Gods, if you Google it. And it was painted 15 years or so, I think 15 to 18 years after the Last Supper. So I think it was inspired by the Last Supper. But not only are they making fun of our monotheistic Christian Western culture values and making a mockery of it by taking all that which is immoral and then implanting it on the medium that is our culture's art, But they've made a mockery of the Renaissance itself because it's not just about going after God. It's not just about mocking Jesus Christ or going after faith. It's about going after Western culture itself, reason itself, which is why they have to attack the Renaissance, these Enlightenment values. It was the rebirth of civilization after the Dark Ages, after the Middle Ages, after bubonic plague, slaughter after slaughter, crusade after crusade, and tyranny by Catholicism after tyranny by Catholicism. Not to mention the tyranny of the Moors as well, who rightfully were driven out of Spain. But it was a rebirth of freedom of speech, of freedom of thought, of science as it was meant to be, not this cult that it has become. And astounding discoveries were made, inventions. I mean, think of the Benjamin Franklins and the Leonardo da Vinci's and the Sir Isaac Newtons and the Michelangelos and the Raphaels and the Donatellos. And it goes into the 18th century and even into the 19th century some with the Rachmaninoffs, the Tolstoys. And they hate that which is brilliant, that which celebrates the individual, that which holds humankind in high esteem, but not as high esteem of God as God. It's not this Tower of Babel thing. It's not this arrogance thing that the left has where they see themselves as gods. It's the celebration of humanity in appreciation of God. Like, wow, it is so amazing.
I got something better. Look at this. Let's watch this. This is the content you need to be looking at on the interwebs. All right, we're going to sign off for the day. Maybe look for a show tomorrow. I know the actual show was a little short, but it's just the way it had to be today. I don't know what to say. All right, so everybody, thanks for tuning in. Give us a like and a follow. Follow the channel Under the Tree 420. And click the little alarm, the bell, and you'll know when we go live. We always go live on Sunday. But we've been doing some epic broadcasts during the week. So be sure to follow the channel, click the bell so you get your alert. Follow us on Locals if that's what you're wanting to do. YouTube can go fuck itself. With all due respect. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to get out of here now. Have a nice evening. Happy Sunday, fun day. No hangover.